Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for today's DIYs. So here we are at DIY number 1. I got these napkins at the Dollar Tree. They come 16 in a pack. I don't remember where I got them from, but they're in there somewhere. But I loved them and I thought they were so pretty. And then these pumpkins are new this year. So these are unpainted pumpkins that came from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to do some fun stuff with these. So when you're using the napkin, you want to use one ply of the napkin. So you're going to open it up and you're going to peel the back from the front. I was having a bit of a difficulty with these, but eventually I was able to get the back off. And then I just ripped out the middle section where the print is. So this is just Mod Podge, and I'm not the biggest fan of Mod Podge, but you definitely need it for this. So we're doing decoupaging. And so I just put the Mod Podge down. I'm going to lay the napkin right on top. And then I am going to Mod Podge on top of that. So you have to be delicate with the Mod Podge and the napkins because the napkins do tear pretty easy because now we've made them one ply. But definitely, I mean, it just adds such a cute little look to this. I'm so sorry that it's not 100% in the screen. You're going to see that I was centrally challenged in this video, but the outcome is really cute. So I'm just going to keep adding the napkin on and going all the way around. So here you can see me pulling the napkin apart. I found it was easier to pull them apart once I cut the napkin. So trying to do it in the full sheet was a little more difficult, but I was able to do it once I cut the napkin in half. So I'm covering up the bottom leaves there. I mean, they're cute, but I didn't want that many leaves to be on this particular pumpkin. So I just put it on and then I trim it where I line it up against the other one. So that I don't want too much overlap because the print is so pretty and I wanted it to look like it flowed all the way around. So I'm just putting more Mod Podge on the bottom, and then you'll see me fill in the tiny little gaps that I do have left over from this project. So these pens I picked up on Amazon. They are Watercolor Pens. And I hadn't used them yet, but then when I was looking at this, I thought, this might be perfect. Because I didn't want to paint it. I didn't want it to be like real solid, but I did want some color. So I used the watercolor pen on the leaf, and then this is a furniture marker from the Dollar Tree that I'm using to color in the stem. So I'm just coloring in the stem. I'm going to highlight around the leaf, just to give it some more dimension. But these watercolor pens are so awesome. This is a mixture of the Waverly Antique Wax and water, and I was just adding it on to help to fill in the space that the marker wasn't getting on that, to give it more of a smooth look to it. And then I just put it on, and then I dabbed a little bit off. I didn't want it to be like a solid coat of paint. I did really want it to have, you know, just a real delicate look to it. So using my heat tool to help dry the Mod Podge. So pretty, I love it. And then I just added a little bit of that antique wax into the little crevices around the pumpkin to give it some more definition. So it just isn't solid, you know. I love the dimension. I love adding a little bit extra to it, but if you don't like that step, don't add it. If you don't, you know, like the napkin I picked, pick out a different one. It is personal preference. So this is the second pumpkin, and again, I'm using watercolor markers, and I just love the way it looks. It really, now that it's all set up and dry, like it has that more glazed look to it, like, you know, that I made this in ceramics class. So I love the watercolor markers for this. I think it was really cool to do that, and I'm just doing the orange as my base color here, and then I'll go around and I'll add some more dimension in it. So I don't know if you guys can hear him, but my little puggy is underneath my feet as I'm editing this video, and he is snoring away. So a little bit about myself while you're watching me paint this. I have 2 little pugs. I love them to death. They are the light of our lives, me and my husband, and they are Dolly and Kenny. Yes, exactly for what you think it is, Dolly and Kenny. We love them to death. They are our babies, but they're very much attached. I don't know if you've never had a pug before. They are Velcro dogs. I love him to death, but he's by my feet, so if you hear his little snores, that is what you're hearing. It's comical, so I figured there's no way for me to take it out unless I completely move him, but then I would have to wake him up to move him. So now that I've got the orange all over this, I just go back and cover up where my fingerprints took off some of the orange. And then I'm going to do green on the leaves. So I do all the leaves all the way down the side of this pumpkin. And I'm going to do a combination of greens just to give it more of that realistic look. I don't know why my camera wasn't focusing on this. I think it was focusing on my hands instead of the pumpkin. Who knows what happens, but the watercolor pens weren't that expensive, so they're fun to have around to do stuff like this. I mean, you can use them for what their intended purpose, to do watercolor painting, but I just thought that they're a lot of fun, and I've used them on several things. But I knew that I wanted to use them on the ceramic because it's going to give it that more glazed look, like it just came out of the kiln. So then I decided I wanted to add some purple into my pumpkin to really give it another layer of color and texture. Like, it gives it that more, you'll see as I keep going around, but I wanted it to be deeper. So I wanted that orange to be the underlayer, and then I added the purple to give it just a different look, you know, because your girl has a ton of pumpkins. I mean, like, I could probably open my own pumpkin patch with the amount of pumpkins that I have for fall, but I like to have them all be different. I don't want them all to be the same. It's fun to add different elements into your pumpkins, so I thought I would throw the purple in there. And then I do go back and what I like about the watercolors is you can see that it just kind of blends it in really well. It gives it that more cohesive look rather than just slapping one coat of paint over another one. So if you haven't tried watercolor markers, then you need to try them out, because this was a lot of fun. I was having a lot of fun doing this project, hence the reason why sometimes it's out of the shot, because I was so excited. This is just a gold paint marker, and I just wanted to do the stem this really deep gold color. I thought it would just be the right addition to the colors that I had added into my pumpkin. Okay, so these are the shiny copper pine cones from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to use hazelnut, and I'm just going to paint over the shiny part. So this is not a solid coat. I am just kind of dulling down the shine, because the shine isn't it's not my jam. So if you like them this way, you keep them this way. This is just a way to use these super cute little pine cones and change them up to the kind of colors that you have in your house. So if you notice, like, it's not, you're gonna still see some of the shine through there. So I do hazelnut on one and the ink by Waverly on the second one. So another fun fact about me, because I haven't shared very much about me in my few videos that I've done so far, but I am a wife and a mother. Between my husband and I, we had 8 children. My husband had 5, I had 2, and we had 1 together. So we were always the life of the party. We were our own party everywhere we went. I was extremely blessed to have my bonus children in my life. I love every single one of them very much. So my oldest stepdaughter gave me our first grandson, so I am a grandmother, and it's an amazing different kind of love, and I think it's just awesome. So all of our kids are not here except for our youngest baby. He is 10, and he's living his best life, doing all the stuff that he loves to do, and I have a great life, and I'm very thankful for the life that I have, and I've loved crafting my whole life. I didn't really know that I could do it until about 10 years ago, when I was stay-at-home mom with all what you can imagine with all those kids. You got to stay home. So I stayed at home with my kids, and you know, while they were in school or napping, like mama had to find something else to do. So I picked up crafting, and I've been doing it ever since, and I absolutely love it, and I hope that you love spending this time with me. So now that I have the base coat on both of these, so you could pick any colors that you want as your base coat. Now I'm going to take Plaster by Waverly, and I'm going to brush over the top of this. So you're going to have that layer of shiny underneath, and then you're going to have your layer of color, and then you're going to add the layer of the plaster. So not super white, but not super creamy. My favorite color for using over stuff like this, but it just gives it, again, another dimension look. So it looks like maybe a pine cone that fell in the snow. If you don't like the white over the top, you can go ahead and skip this step. Definitely, you know, this is where it comes preference right here. So you can either do this or not do this. But I love layers. So as you can tell, most of my projects have multiple layers in them. I love layers. I love the texture that it gives it. It gives it that pop, that difference, that stuff that you see in big box stores instead of just regular old stuff that you see here and there. So I'm going to do the same thing to the black one. And I'm just putting it on. Like I said, it's not going to be a solid coat. I love that you can see the color from underneath each little piece. Another layer of texture and color. So I didn't get the shot of it, but I did take a little sandpaper to it just to kind of smooth it out just a little bit. And now I'm taking the watered down antique wax, and I am just dripping it in to the little crevices here, rolling it over the top, like just again to give it another layer. So if you don't want this to do this part, don't do it. This was personal preference on my side. I wanted to give it more of that rustic look to it. I absolutely love the way these came out, and they look so cute in the little tiered tray where I have them right now. When I finish getting my fall out, because I'm ready. I'm so ready to put fall out. But yes, so as soon as I start putting my fall out, it is going to be super cute popping these in here and there. Imagine all the different colors. Like if you do, maybe you're like into golds, you could have painted the whole thing gold and then done this layer on top of it. Navy blues are really hot for the fall. Like I've seen them several times when I'm at Hobby Lobby, and I'm in love with that navy blue with the leather. I mean, there's all different things you can do to these, and just pop them in your little vignettes here and there just to give a little extra zhuzh to it, as I love to say, just a little extra. So like I said, if you don't like this step, don't do it. I love watered down antique wax because it just gets right where I want it to go. But these came out so cute, a little messy, but cute. DIY number 2. So this was a like planked, it had where the little hole is on top, it had a clip on it. I got these from Michael's for $1. I had ordered a dozen of them, so I needed to find something to do with these. But anyway, so I took the clip off. That little hole in the back is just this little peg to make it stand up. And then this is, of course, a Couture stencil. And I am just fuzzing it so that I'll be able to actually take it off of the backing of that wood. I was going to stain it originally, but I thought I liked the natural wood to show through. So I'm just going to put the stencil on where I want it. This is actually part of like, for these leaves stencil, like I actually have leaves, I'll be doing them next. But that's why it looks kind of like, you know, cut off or whatever. But I thought this was so cute. And again, I love fall. So I'm going to take my chalk paste and I'm going to fill in the areas that I want to be black, the areas that I want to be orange. And then I do add a little red in there. I love the chalk paste because you don't have to use very much to make the magic happen. So yes. So this is just me filling in those spaces where I want all the black to be. So now here comes the amazing fun part, and this is satisfying. Look at when you pull that back, it's so pretty. I love it. So I wanted to add something to the top here. You're going to see me fiddle with a couple different things, a couple different ideas. But that's the fun part of adding like the swag on the top, is that you can just play with it until you figure out what you want to do. I did give the, I did use my heat tool on the chalk paste to make sure that I wasn't going to smear it all over the place while I was doing this. So I knew I wanted to add those leaves in. I was determined. So here is just some random foliage that I have left over from other stuff that I've used. It's so good to keep everything. I know it's like, where am I supposed to put all that? But you just never know when you're going to need these little tiny pieces. So I was determined to have this sunflower in the middle. However, the glue was not wanting to stick. So then I put a staple in the middle. Yeah, that's not going to work either. So then I decided that I wanted to put this little floofy thing in there. Don't mind my dogs squeaking their toys in the background. This is a video of Amanda's dogs. But so then I decided, well, you know what? I guess I can staple under that first layer of leaf there so that you couldn't see the staple, and that was perfect. That was just enough to hold it on. I put the hot glue behind the top part and held it down. I love using my stapler when I'm doing this because sometimes hot glue is just not enough. It's not enough, especially if you're going to have a wreath that's hanging on your door where there's going to be heat. Anything that's going to, any chance that your glue is going to melt, it's nice to reinforce it with the stapler. And I know that, if one of my kids were to pick it up and shake it, that it's going to hold together because I stapled everything down. So I just gave it a little trim on the side there. This is me just figuring out I wanted to add more here and there. I love it. That is so cute. And then I knew for sure, like I said, that I wanted to add some of that leaves. So I just took the leaves and I folded it up to give it more of a like fanned out look and stapled it down. And the nice part is, even when you're holding this, like you can't see any of those staples because I've strategically put them under everything. So then I'm just going to take a little bit of antiquing wax and I'm going to go around the edges just to give it a little dimension. The only place you could see a staple is right there at the top, but I fandangle that and cover it up. No big deal. So I just wanted to give it a little bit of aging. So, because I like the natural wood, but I did want it to have a little something. And I love those little planks in there. So I wanted to enhance the planks. And then I'm going to use a little bit more of the antique wax that I have watered down. I always see it you see it in my little cup. I just wanted to give it a little bit more. So I'm going to go through here in just a second and I'm going to add more antique wax to it to give it some more dimension, a little bit of sanding just to kind of bring it down because, this is just all, it's so funny that we do this. So we add layer upon layer and sand and layer and sand and layer and sand to give it this really old, worn look. But it's nice when you have something that's brand new and you just want to give it the look of like, oh yeah, it's been around, like I always think of autumn as, more rustic and cozy and sweaters and fires and all that stuff like that. So I was just giving it that look. Again, you could do whatever you want right here. You could have stained the whole thing. You could have painted it. You could do anything you want. You don't have to use a chalk couture stencil for this. You could have printed something off the internet and Mod Podged or used a glue stick to adhere it. So I hope you love this as much as I did. DIY number 3. So this is a quick and easy one. So this little block thing I got at Marshall's for $3.50 on clearance. It did say mom on it, and I wish I would have taken a before picture, but it said mom, but all I did was take a little sandpaper and sand it off. It was super easy. But I knew when I saw this that I can recreate it into something else, so I bought 2. So I got these Happy Fall little wood cutouts from the Hobby Lobby. All of the fall is 40% off right now. Same thing with those little pumpkins. I got them from the Hobby Lobby. I was thinking I was going to use it. I don't end up using it. This is just boxwood from Walmart. And here I am with my handy dandy stapler, and I'm going to staple it to the top of this little block thing. And I'm just going to put it on there. I mean, this is preference. Like, you pick whatever you want up there. You could put a big bow. You could put different kind of foliage, do whatever you want. But I love boxwood. I think it's so cute. I use it all year round in all my different stuff. Christmas, it's just added in there. Fall, it's added in there. Like, I figure out how to add in the boxwood because I love it. And it's so inexpensive from Walmart. I can't remember off the top of my head how much I paid for a full bundle, but I've used a full bundle a million times. So I also have this cotton stem is from the Dollar Tree, and I just cut off a couple pieces, and I'm going to glue these to the top. So I couldn't handy dandy staple them, but I could hot glue them to there. So I hot glue them, hold them down, get them to stick, and they look so cute because boxwood and cotton go hand in hand. I think they're adorable. Even you could use eucalyptus and cotton, or you could have put a pumpkin up there. I mean, there's so many different things you could do with this, but just I pick these things up from Marshalls and TJ Maxx and Home Goods when they're on clearance and super cheap, because guys, you need to know that there are so many other things that you could do with them, because you're like, I don't need this mom block. Like Mother's Day is way past the time. But for $3.50, it was so awesome to use this. So I used 2 of the cotton pods, which there's 4 on a stem, so that was 50 cents worth of cotton pod on the top there. Like 50 cents worth of Happy Fall, and the boxwood was probably like 50 cents worth. So we're talking like super cheap. Now check these out. I could not resist these. Oh my gosh. So this is from Hobby Lobby. These are faux leather leaves. And ladies and gentlemen, I sure did pick up some faux leather mini pumpkins. So if you're into the leather, definitely run to Hobby Lobby and pick them up because they won't be there long. I was so excited when I saw these. So now that I put the leaf down, the orange was not going to go. So I just went with because it comes with an orange one and it comes with this more natural colored wood. So I'm just pushing on there to see where it's hitting the area where I can put some glue. So I just put a little hot glue on there and hold it down for it to stick to the leather. So I did have a little bit of an issue with it sticking to the leather. It stuck to the leather really well, but it wanted to come off. So I did have to mess with this a few times to get it just right, but I love how this turned out. I put it on my brand new coffee wall that I had done this weekend, and it looks so cute up there with all my Rae Dunn yumminess. DIY number 4. So this is just a little wood crate that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using antique Waverly wax to stain the whole crate. So I did spray just a little bit of water on there. See how smooth that goes on when you just add a little bit of water. I didn't use my watered down version because I did want it to be darker, but I definitely love just spraying a little bit of water on whatever it is that I'm going to stain, and it helps the stain go on really smooth. And then I'm going to go take my little baby wipe or paper towel, whatever it is, that's a paper towel, and I'm just going to wipe off the excess. And I love how dark this came out. So I did the inside and the outside. And then, of course, I thought I had press record, but I had used Cashew by Waverly to dry brushed it along the outside of the crate just to give it a little bit of a different look. These decorative picks came from the Dollar Tree. They're 5 for $1. I love these. They come out in different sizes and all kinds of cute colors. I did take them and I cut them in half, and I'm using these as the little wheels because here we are making a little pumpkin wagon. So I thought it was so cute to make the little wheels be little pumpkins, and I tried it multiple different ways, but this is the best way that worked for me. Is I just took a box knife and I cut it right down the center, and I just made them so that they're flat and so that my little wagon it'll sit perfectly on the little shelf. And then could you imagine like double that sticking out on the side? Anyways, it looked crazy. So I decided I wanted to paint them black so they could look like little tires. I didn't paint them super solid because I wanted a little bit of that cream to show through, give it really more of that rustic look, been driven through, the dirt, love that stuff. So I had put a little bit of this hula skirt in the bottom of this crate right here. So, and then those are the pumpkins that are going to go inside. So The white and the orange ones came from Marshall's. I had shown that in my last haul video. And then those are the leather mini pumpkins. Aren't they so cute? I got those from Hobby Lobby and they are 40% off right now. Run, ladies. Those are so cute. I love them. So I'm just going to finish painting up these tires. And then you're going to see from this point forward that you're going to be like, how many times are you going to move those pumpkins? But when you have a vision in your mind, you just keep doing it until it comes out right. So that's the best part of creating, being crafty, is that I envision something in my head and then I go from there. So look at, I just willy-nilly put those pumpkins in there. This is just a piece of nautical rope that came from the Dollar Tree. It was just a scrap that I had. So I'm just going to glue it to the front and give it, so like a handle. So like, you know, when you're, like you could pull it around, almost like a train car. Either way, this could be a train car. You could do multiples of them and connect them together with just a little bit of rope in between them. You can just do one and leave it as a little wagon. So I'm just going to glue this on there. And I did glue the little ends so that they would stay together. Be careful with the hot glue because it is hot. It'll burn your fingers. It's so funny how like dull my fingers are to the hot glue. Sometimes it gets me, but most of the time I don't even feel it anymore. So I put on the rope and then I decided that I wanted to add a little bit extra to the front of the rope. So this is the faux leather ribbon from the Dollar Tree to go with my faux leather pumpkins. And I'm just going to add it to the bottom just to give it a little bit extra and a little bit more security, but look cute at the same time. So I'm just going to mess with this for a quick minute and until I get it just right. Those scissors were not going to cut that. It was not happening. So I got to pull out the Big Daddy scissors and I'm going to put one on each side. Okay, so I told you I'm going to mess with this a bunch. So this is just a piece of floral foam that I got from Michael's. I actually bought it in a big package of it, and it was cheaper than the Dollar Tree. Here's my hula skirt. Now I'm cutting it up because it's going to sit on there a little different. So, oh, and that little spatula is thebomb.com. So that is like a mask applying spatula that you get in the makeup section at the Dollar Tree. But it is so great because it's silicone, so the hot glue doesn't stick to it. So I use it to put down the hot glue. And then here I am messing with these pumpkins again because I'm determined to have 5 pumpkins in this little tiny crate. So I'm just going to keep messing with it until I'm going to let you watch me mess with this because it's pretty funny. So you think I'd be done, but I'm not because I gotta mess with these pumpkins some more. You're gonna be like, just give up on the 5th pumpkin. Just give it up, call it good. But I was determined. I wanted 5 pumpkins in here. So you're gonna see what I do to fix the problem that I have. So let me take them out. And then of course this is out of the shot, but I took a 5-in-1 tool that you could get from the Dollar Tree, and I just snipped off an edge of that floral foam, put the rest of the stuff in their seat. Now I have a nice little perfect spot for one of those pumpkins. And then I'm going to mess with it again. You're going to be like, good lordy, woman, stop messing with these pumpkins. But I had it in my head how I wanted it. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's so cute. It needed to have layers, but I didn't want to like put more pumpkins in the bottom instead of the floral foam. I wanted them to be lifted. I wanted to look like it was, you know, imagine your little kid running around with a wagon full of pumpkins. So I decided to add some more boxwood. Big surprise, because you know how much I love my boxwood. Just to give it a little bit. I love that beautiful green against the leather, the white, and the pumpkin colored, the orange. So I just decided to cut this one down. I thought it was too big when I was doing that. So then of course, you know, I could leave it like that, but I have to do a little bit something extra. So here's just some push pins that I got probably from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just putting them in as the little, like the cap on the wheels. So the first one I didn't use hot glue, and then I thought, I should probably use some hot glue because that's just like little foamy, you know, it could fall out pretty easy. So I'm going to put caps on all 4 wheels. And then I decided to put just the little nails into the leather in the front, just to give it that, you know, just a more finished look. And I love my little pumpkin wagon. This is my favorite thing that I made in this video. It is so cute, and it's going to be so cute all set up in my fall decor. Don't worry, I pulled off that extra hot glue that's sticking on the other side. I hope you love it as much as I do.